Hello, Pisces. This is your April astrology reading for all Pisces signs. Now, I like to throw out there first, if you're new to the channel or anything, I mean, all kinds of people watch, their different astrology videos and whatnot for different reasons. And you should always check out your sun, moon, and rising. Simply because you may find, you're not really going well. Maybe nothing's resonating in your sun sign, but it might be resonating full on in your emotions. So you may want to check out your moon sign. So I always tell people to check all three. And then as well, if the astrology doesn't connect, doesn't come in any form of resembling anything to you, you might want to just check out your tarot. I'm sorry, I'm getting delivery systems, which they're starting to bring me messages. You're going to have a lot going on in your communication house, obviously. I'm getting delivery systems, details, intellect, gossip, messages, phone calls, self-esteem, reputation, self-realization, judgment, self-judgment. Very sensitive with the communication. Very sensitive with the communication. But they're saying, hold on to your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions. Don't lose sight of that. Pay attention to your higher wisdom, your higher knowing, lessons. That might be school for some of you. Like bury yourself in your working ethic or studies. For somebody, it's talking about finances and taxes. Coming into understanding your true self for liberation. Through some of your own self-undoing. It's definitely transformation. You're becoming conscious, or the subconscious is becoming conscious of some karmic debts. But I'm really got a lot of communication going on, especially over overcoming sexual frustration or sacral chakra issues. Could be the way you feel about yourself, communication with yourself, and self-growth in some ways. Spirit just told me sensitivity that's pushing you into the self-growth, or sensitivity you may be fighting yourself on. Might be picking yourself apart about it. Insecurities for the shape-shifting of your self-esteem is what I was just told. You're going to be seeing a lot of this, plain and simple, over the next 2 years anyway. Now that Saturn has just moved into your 12th house. And it's going to be here a little over 2 years, I believe. I've got to do the math on that. But Saturn just moved in. Saturn's rules, walls, boundaries. And slow down. Yeah, that's going to be some of the 12th house issues. Overcoming your insecurities, some of your grief, sorrow, shame, blame. Your skeletons in the closet. Your own self-sacrifice, self-deception, self-undoing. Some of this could be dealing with karmic debt. Some of this is dealing with government issues, outside authority, maybe even prison. Overcoming fear, blame, It's definitely sacral chakra. Root and sacral chakra. But this is not a bad thing. This is definitely a transformation that you're going to be taking part of for the whole next 2 years. Learning how to take action and trust your intuition. And how to allow it to lead you back to heart and soul. Is what they're saying. Learn how to listen and trust in those spiritual truths. And have compassion as you guys always have compassion. This is about having compassion for yourself. And good, healthy communication for yourself. Okay, can we come back? Seems like you're just going so far into the future. We were only going to do this month. It's just a lot of spiritual, soulful depths of digging into some of your, a lot of your 12th house is going to have a lot of communication in general in 12th house. But I guess it's just flat out, it's starting now. For the whole next 2 to 3 years. Because of Saturn being there. But they just are really going on and on about that. Yeah, bringing a lot of abundance to that. And saying for you to check out your friends, your groups, your memberships. Because are they truly helping you find your true self? Okay, with that being said, let's jump in. I mean, Spirit just jumped right in and started going over everything. I am being sent to pay attention to the 7th, which is the full moon in Libra, and we will look that up in a minute. I'm just going to throw out these dates to you. The full moon takes place in Libra on the 7th. You have, technically on the 3rd, Gemini, Venus moves into Gemini. Mercury is going to move into Aries on the 11th. On the 19th, the sun enters Taurus. And on the 22nd, you have a new moon in Taurus. Now, Spirit has been telling me for everybody, there's something powerful going to shift on the 19th. And it's not just that it's the sun moving into Taurus. Remember, you're going to have that new moon on the 22nd, just a few days later. And Spirit is kind of giving me, like, from the 16th through the 25th, you're going to feel that energy of whatever it is. And we're going to look at that in just a moment. But I'm definitely giving you, like, from the 19th through the 22nd, or from the 16th through the 25th, there's a shifting in energy that you're going to need to be aware of. You have Pluto, which is going retrograde on the 25th, which means Pluto is in shadow already. So Pluto is kind of like, Pluto's a lot like Mars, but he's death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. So he is the shifting change, that transformation itself of finding spirit and its fire, getting back to your soulfulness. And once it hits retrograde, it's kind of like, let me just kick in the door and make sure if there's anything you missed, now I'm going to make sure you freaking know about it. It's kind of how Pluto is. So he's kind of like Mars times 5, you know, and then he's talking to you. But prior to this, he's looking at those darker things that's keeping you from getting to your true depth, your true spiritual connection with your own source energy. And then you have Mercury, which is going to be moving into Taurus on the 27th as well. So Mercury is spending absolutely no time in Aries. It's here for like 2 weeks. It's coming out of your sign, going into Aries on the 11th and jumping out of there and going straight on through and into Taurus on the 27th. So it's like more or less it's just, I'm going to knock out what I got to knock out and on to the next. It's not playing any games. Now, because Spirit is telling me something's up with between the 19th through the 22nd, I'm going to back that up a little bit. You have Chiron, Lilith, and Mercury. But Mercury's going to be traveling through this at the time, so. Yeah. You have Chiron, Lilith, the Sun, and Mercury, and Aries. This happens to be your second house. And I just got choked up, which usually means this has a problem with you speaking in your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. The second house is all about what we value. And it has to start with ourselves, with valuing ourselves and our own personal lives. And then outwardly into our actual life. But valuing what's truly deeply important. And starting with our own self, our value, our self-esteem, our worth. You're going through a shape-shifting, Spirit just was like a phone call to yourself. This is what you're going to be hearing. You're going through some energies here, which is helping you to set investments on yourself, helping you to create new securities. See, because it's also ruled by the second house. I mean, for you, it's your second house, which is Aries, and this is all about new beginnings, new cycles, me first energy, wanting to set proper investments that work for you, proper securities, shape-shifting so that you're comfortable, possessions, and creating money also has to do with that second house. So when we're more possessive, it's because we're more insecure. This is saying that you're paying attention to these. You're overcoming this area. You're coming into a strengthening of investing in yourself, your worth, your value, which then is going to help you start to acknowledge how to invest in what helps you create your money and what these small possessions can be. Now, this is where it gets tripped up, because this energy is going to move into Taurus. Now, Taurus rules the second house, which is the exact same thing, but for you, that's communication. On a universal scale, it's those possessions, those movable and purchases, you know, like a Himalayan sea salt lamp, your clothing, your glasses, your phones, going to the store, period, and being able to buy things. This is what you spend your money on, and what you put your time and your money into defines you. So if you are putting that time and money into yourself, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, you're building the investment in yourself, then you're technically really building the investment for your outer world, for your possessions, for the security of who and what you are. You're seeing that in the communication you have with yourself, as well as in the second house, because Taurus rules that second house. Aries is where you're starting this energy, because this is where the sun is, and it's going to be moving in and continuing all month. And they're saying for some of you, you've got some gossip going on, and I keep being reminded from the 19th through the 22nd, especially, you know, before you have that new moon at the end of the month in Taurus. Now, this is the thing. Taurus, like I said, can be possessive, especially when it's in securities. So this is about taking the time to get secure, to invest in yourself, and pay attention to your own personal intellect, your own personal details. If you're in school, this is a great time for extra studying, to invest in yourself and what you're trying to create and bring forward. Even if you can't actually bring it to the table right now, it's not something that This is the creating of that new moon. They're trying to warn you to put your energy into things that are wise to help you at this time, advance yourself in the future, and communicate with yourself. This is a great time for schooling, for the lecturing. I mean, maybe you're watching it on YouTube, who knows, to help you advance. And the more insecure you are, the lower vibrational you are, the more possessive you're going to get as you enter this new moon energy. Because Taurus can also try to manipulate and manage people and push people around. Okay, so this is why they're giving you this energy, so that you're not putting judgment on yourself, but that you're putting yourself in a way that makes you feel not above everybody else, but that you're putting yourself into your future. And like I said, you're going to be noticing that. But Spirit is now directing me to Pluto for you. And I think this is... Yo, what's up, phone? Why are you trying to take pictures? Okay. Pluto is in your 10th house. This is your, this is your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your professional career. So this is what they're saying. They're telling you to put your investment in this at the moment. Not in going out and buying things. Not in buying, like the toilet paper thing. And trying to stock up on all of those possessions. They're saying put your time, effort, and money into moving yourself forward. Helping your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your professional career, financial success, your social foundations. Pluto is in shadow. Pluto's death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. And this is happening in that 10th house of where you can start to recreate that honor and that reputation and that prestige and bring that into fruition. You may not be seeing it happen necessarily right now, but this is what they're saying is look at this as a project of moving forward. You have Jupiter here bringing major abundance and knowledge into you, helping you to do this. You also have Pluto, which is going, let's figure out what it is truly deep down inside of you that makes you tick. And if you're getting right with your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, then that helps you to feel better about yourself, higher vibrational, which then turns on your magnet for your manifestation, bringing that vibration up higher, and cannot help but for it to start to bring that attention to the reputation, the prestige, the career, the financial success. So they're working together at this. Jupiter is trying to help you figure out what about it that makes you tick, that gets you in that investment of security of yourself, because when you do that, then it's going to bring you the advancement of moving you forward. If you're taking the time to invest in you. You also have Pallas here, which is Athena, the warrior goddess, which is strategic thinking. So this is definitely goes right back to using your intellect and details and paying attention to those details so that you're getting things on a very good scale as you're moving forward. Helping you to check in with yourself as to what it is you want to create and bring into the outer community and find a new foundation in the social community as well that will work with that. That's why Spirit was saying your friends, and don't give up on goals, dreams, ambitions, but make sure that your friends, your communities, your memberships back up what it is you really truly are wanting to see happen. Because if they're not, then they're not going to help you find your self-realization. Now, that happens to be well, that was the 11th house, but it's still going to do the same thing. The 11th house is all about the friends. I kind of put 11th and 10th house together right then, but it's still going to do the same thing. It's going to put, I mean, if you're putting the right groups, the right memberships into your life, the right people that help you find your self-realization, it's still going to strengthen your honor, your reputation, and all of that. And that means that you're having people, not that look up to you, but that help you become a better you in your life. And then invest in that, because that would help you find how to liberate yourself within this very energy, which is going to bring you back to, again, to that honor and that reputation. So they're putting the 10th and the 11th house, Spirit is, into one house for me. But your 12th house is where you're going to have these questions. And this is all about your free will. Because your 12th house for the next 2 years, like I said, is that subconscious mind becoming conscious. It's where, we'd rather sweep the dirt under the rug than to truly have to do the hard work of cleaning it out and picking the rug up and sweeping it out and, airing out the rug so you get the dirt off of it and vacuuming it and all of this. It's where you would rather do the easy work of just, let me put that in the closet and then I'll put some shit on top of it. And then I'll put more shit in front of it. And then I'll forget it's even back there. And this is where it can start causing you problems. If your value is lower. If your self-esteem is lower. Because that 12th house now has Saturn in it. And this is speaking to you about setting new rules, new walls, new boundaries within that 12th house. Overcoming those insecurities. Overcoming your denial. Overcoming the things that you've done over and over again that don't serve you. And starting to finally learn the lesson and make the changes, which brings the healing in. So this is a very positive energy, but Saturn don't do anything fast. Saturn kind of looks at it, evaluates it, takes some charts on it. Let's have a freaking, class about it. Then we're going to have a conversation with, our teachers or this or that, and it's taking its time really thoroughly looking at what junk you have in your closet. So it can see what you truly are in denial about and what it truly has to sink its teeth in to work on. Now the thing is, it's got 2 years to do this, but it's in overdrive this month because it has Mars here, which is passion, action, aggression, fire. And this is why it's important for you to be at this time very high vibrational, believing in yourself, doing things that help bring your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem in, putting that investment into you at this time, because with Saturn just moving in and starting to take notes at what it's going to be doing for the next 2 years, and it only has 4 months here before it's going to retrograde back into your 11th house. Until almost at the end of the year. So this 4 months is very important for you to really start getting secure with who and what you are, overcoming these, tapping into your inner emotional security and that communication. Because this month itself, Mars, which is also your sacral chakra, passion, action, aggression, fire, it's putting a fire in your ass in your unconscious. But if you're a low vibrational unconscious already, then it's going to be tapping into those darker aspects. And the 12th house already is the dark aspects. So this is about being truly upfront and for real and in your face with your own face. Seeing the truths about you so that you can overcome this. Because while Mars is running through here, passion, action, aggression, he's really pushing on you to get the ball moving, get the healing started, which starts with you bringing that healing to yourself, being honest with yourself, and lifting your vibration, which is lifting that self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. And that's going to be there all flipping month. Now, I'm bouncing around because this is where Spirit's directing me. Your 4th house, which is your inner emotional security. Venus has moved into here on the 3rd. Venus is also got, Gemini also has a Vista in it, which is your soul fire and your sensitivities about your inner emotional security, your home, and the roots of who and what you are. This whole month is about returning to you. Figuring out who you are, where you came from, and what does that mean to you as you move forward. This is returning to you. Returning to the true self that is deep down underneath it all, your personal foundations, and where they've been messed up so that you can reset roots for your inner emotional security for everything within your life. Venus is going to be bringing sensitivity to this and telling you where it's ooey gooey, soft and chewy, and I really feel good about this, and I feel good about this personal foundation, and I feel good about this going on at my home, and I feel good about this with my family, and I feel good about my truth with myself and who I really am. Or she is going to be picking the shit out of you because she's telling you these are the things that you need to change and you need to address. Venus is not love. She is sensitivities, whether it is emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical. And in that 4th house, she's tapping into what builds that inner emotional security or what is taking from it. Either way, she's tapping into it. And she's also saying right now, I'm being told, for some of you, this has to do with your careers and your tasks, your everyday daily routines. And what will that do? Do those everyday daily routines support your inner emotional security? Do they support your healthy well-being? Do they support you getting to be the best you can be? Do they support you finding enjoyment in your life? Or are they tasks that's weighing you down? And is it and ultimately lowering your vibration and taking from you? Venus is going to be having this conversation with you all month. So this is about returning to who you are and strengthening your inner security. And then figuring out what about that outer world is supporting you or isn't supporting you. Your 5th house has is in Cancer, and that is your pursuit of pleasure. Again, you have Rahu, which is about to move out. He only has a month left here in your in your pursuit of pleasure. So getting back to enjoying being you. Are you nurturing your creative energy? Are you nurturing your fun